I'm Jacob Hamilton,
And I'm Hidro and Jacob.
and welcome to the Hardwood Huddle, a basketball podcast where we break down the latest news and games in the NBA and basketball world. Hidro, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I wish I had your T-shirt, man.
Yeah, make your free throws. Got to represent Barstool a little bit. When they did the free throw challenge, I had to invest in the shirt. But let's just jump right into Thunder versus Pacers, obviously. But I'm gonna go over the stats for each team. But the score was 109-120. Thunder beat the Pacers, obviously, taking a 3-2 lead. We'll start with the Thunder. On the Thunder side of things, Shea had 31 points, 2 boards, and 10 assists, along with 2 steals and 4 blocks. J-Dub with 40 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, and 1 steal. Cason Wallace with an 11-point game, and Aaron Wiggins with 14. And then for the Pacers side of things, Pascal Siakam with 28, TJ McConnell with 18, and Tyrese Halliburton with 4. So might as well jump into it. You said before the show that you had some comments to make about J-Dub's 40 piece, so the stage is yours.
In a previous podcast, we talked about who we wanted off of the All NBA teams, and I was quick to point out that I wanted J-Dub off of the All NBA in favor. Like if we're gonna put Operation Goon #2 in the West for the Houston Rockets onto an All NBA team, we got to take somebody off. I said I wanted J-Dub off, and in my opinion, I felt like I was in the right based on him not showing why he belonged as part of like that top 15. I just wasn't seeing it.
Yeah.
And last game showed me something. It's one of those things where it's like, all right, we're not handing it to you because y'all had the best record in the league, and we want to give it to to a team with 2 people instead of 1.
Yeah,
that's what it seemed like to me. But credit to J Dub for really being a bully when it came to generating those points.
Yeah.
He was moving people off their spot, despite them beating him to the spot. He
Yeah.
was able to move them off the spot, which is pure muscle and willpower, drawing fouls and being tenacious when it came to finishing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty impressive. It looked a little bit like shades of Scottie Pippen type stuff that was happening there.
Yeah.
And I found that pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
Versus when you look at the totality of it all, I'm pretty sure every single voter already has Shea Gilgeous-Alexander penciled in as the Finals MVP, and they're just sitting on their hands waiting for this series to be over in 6 or 7 games. It doesn't matter if SGA produces a 5-point game next game. They have him as the MVP, and they're just waiting for the chance to crown him for that.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was necessarily an MVP performance this last game versus the game before where he dropped 15 points in the fourth quarter. So there's that. Like there should be more of a Finals MVP controversy once this Finals wraps up, but there won't be. On the other side, you had Tyrese Halliburton with 4 points.
Yes.
I'll let you speak on that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously like if you're in the NBA world, right? I mean, we kind of had some concerns about Tyrese going into this game, right? About his injury. Because we saw him walking off of no, that wasn't last game, was it? Where we saw him walking away from the press conference table. When was that?
And numerous times. He's hobbled away from the press conference table.
Right? Yeah, he's
like
limping
game
around.
1 or 2.
And just to clarify this, his 4 points came from free throws as well. So he got 4 free throws in this game. But yeah, he is dealing with an injury. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I could get that pulled up, or if you could pull that up for me. But yeah, it's just, I mean, going through. Oh, I don't even know what to say, right? Because it's like when you're Tyrese Halliburton and your team depends on you, right? Especially with like the level of just like playmaking that he brings, like even though he had 4 points, he still did. Or where'd he go? Oh, there we go. He had 4 points, 7 boards, and 6 assists. So he still dished out his passes. But
did he make any shots? It was 0-4?
No shots were made. Just free throws.
MRI showed a calf strain.
Yeah. So the calf strain. So it's just, I mean, I don't know what to say about that. Really, it's just like, of course, this has to happen in an NBA Finals where it was just getting good, and then he comes out with this injury, and then we saw what happened, right? 109 to 120. But also just like not only did Tyrese not play his best, Aaron Nesmith only had 7 shooting 37%, 3 for 8 from the field, 0 for 2. Obi Toppin did have 12, but he still shot 45%. And then Benedict Mathurin with a whopping 7 points on an 18% field goal efficiency. And I have it in my notes here that not Tyrese Albert and Benedict Mathurin. I mean, like, what were those like? Those first quarter minutes by him were just genuinely terrible. Like him just being overly aggressive and making bad decisions. It was just all over the place for him. But yeah, that's the Pacer side of things. Pascal Siakam did have 28. I want to clarify that as well. He did have 28, having 14 in the fourth.
If they find a way to win in 7, like Pascal's gonna win Finals MVP, but nobody's gonna question that. Versus on the other end, if SGA doesn't get it.
Well, what if we see like a Jerry West type of thing, right? Where they like somehow the Thunder lose their finals. Like, could they still give it to Shea almost? Like, how are we thinking on that? Because I'll pull up his series numbers here. 31 and 10 in last game with 4 blocks, 35 in the last game, 24 in the game before that, 34 in the game before that, and then 38 in game 1. So, I mean, we could still see. Go ahead.
I'm not convinced that the NBA will ever do that again. When Jerry West won that was probably like 1969 or something like that.
Oh, it was some time ago. There's a reason why we haven't seen it since. But I mean, I was just putting it out there.
The closest we come to seeing that is the reason Andre Iguodala has a Finals MVP right now.
Yeah.
They wanted to give it to LeBron, but enough people didn't want to do the Jerry West thing.
Yeah.
So
understandably,
they ended up kind of LeBron ended up taking enough votes away from Curry that Iguodala had more votes than him in that 2015 NBA Finals. With that being said, I wanted to get to Tyrese's 4 points again. It's hard to really bring a real honest discussion about this given the injury.
Yeah.
But we were crowning, like a lot of people were crowning him as Jordan with the way he was making these clutch baskets all in a single finals run. And now he dropped 4 points, and I haven't yet to see the comparisons to Kobe's 8 points in a finals game or LeBron's 8 points in a finals game and all that stuff. It's just, it is what it is. And I guess everybody's giving him a pass due to injury. Are the Thunder getting an asterisk in your mind due to Tyrese Halliburton being injured?
No, there's not a chance. This Thunder team is almost like legendary in a sense, right? Especially on the defensive side of things. So it's like I'm not putting an asterisk next to it. They had a 7-game series. Like if we're just talking finals, right? Like the first 4 games were great, and then we just have this injury. So it's not like they were dealing with this injury throughout the finals. Maybe he was, and we just weren't like aware fully 100%. But I mean, he was playing through it like he was fine. So no, I'm not going to put an asterisk next to it. It's just some injuries happen, man. It's just how it goes.
I get uncomfortable with putting asterisks next to winning.
Yeah.
When it comes to the other team was injured and stuff, because the team that beat the team that was injured has no control over the health of the team that
exactly.
Unless they purposely caused it. Like, I don't know. There was a time when Robert Horry threw Steve Nash into the scoreboard,
Yeah.
and a bunch of Phoenix Suns players ran off of the bench
Off
and
the
were
bench.
automatically suspended for a game, and
Yep.
that allowed a Spurs team that was lesser than a Phoenix Suns team.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that was 2006,
Yeah.
2007,
That Suns team had
2007.
only 20 losses on the year that year. So, I mean, comparable to now, right? It's a little more, but like still a great team at the end of the day.
It was 2005. I'm pretty sure it was 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a team. That's a situation where it's like maybe I guess an asterisk. I don't know. At the end of the day, maybe the Phoenix Suns players they know the rules and should have stayed
Yeah.
on the bench. And the Spurs can't control them leaving the bench.
Yeah.
So in terms of putting asterisks, some people put an asterisk on the Warriors' first finals victory against the the Cavaliers because Kyrie and Kevin Love were both hurt.
Yep.
Kind of hard to put an asterisk on
It's hard to
because you
put an
could just
asterisk.
reach back to every single playoff run in
Yeah.
which there's some significant contributor on the other side that's injured, and it's like everybody's injured after an 82 game season. I'm
Of course.
not a big believer in putting asterisks on that. I'm not a big believer in putting asterisks on shortened seasons. Like I don't
Nope.
think Tim Duncan's 1999 NBA Finals victory should have an asterisk on there, even though they
Yeah.
only played half the season. LeBron's first championship was an 82 game season.
Yeah.
I don't put an
And it's like
asterisk
the
on
bubble.
that.
Like the people like to put the bubble as like a super big asterisk, but for me, like that's like one that like I don't know if you can even put an asterisk next to it, right? Like that one is like super like interesting to me because it's like, well, like we were in the height of like this worldwide virus that nobody knew about, right? They send them to Orlando to Disney to play basketball. It's like that has to be like super
Everybody
like
under the same conditions.
yeah, like everyone is under the same conditions, but then like you see people on Twitter saying like, "Oh my God, the bubble was a fraud." TJ Warren was like dropping however many like that was like prime TJ Warren, but it's like, but that shows you that like it was just almost like easier for everybody to score, so everyone was making it a little like everyone was a little bit better than they probably would have been if we had like a regular season, right? So yeah, asterisks only happen if you cheat, in my opinion, but that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah, the only asterisk I can really point to is like Game 6 of the Lakers against the Sacramento Kings in
Yep.
2002, in which there was officials came out and said, "Hey, they were cheating
Yeah.
on behalf of the Lakers intentionally to try to get it to 7 games." So I could see that.
Yeah.
Um, but again, the Lakers got a seventh game in Sacramento and came out of that in overtime.
Yeah.
If Sacramento's the better team, you
They
you
would
had
have
five
won.
minutes to show it and you did it.
Yeah.
So in circling back, OKC, I wouldn't put an asterisk on their championship. In my opinion, I thought they weren't going to get out of playing against Denver, and they did. And it really shows how good Nikola Jokic was this year.
Yeah.
And when he dragged his team to 7 games against potentially the eventual champions. With that being said, let's go to predictions. What you got? Game
Um,
6.
Game 6, just for like the love of basketball, right? I'm gonna call Pacers here. Obviously role players play better at home, so I'm gonna take the Pacers here. As long as Scott Foster is not involved, I'm taking the Pacers. Game 6.
Halliburton is out potentially.
Okay, so like if he's out, then it's obviously Thunder in 6. But if Tyrese is playing, I'm gonna still have to just call it Pacers just because I want an extended series. But if I'm taking a non-extended series standpoint from it with this Tyrese injury, obviously it's gonna be the Thunder. What about yourself?
He's current. Tyrese Halliburton is currently out. That could change. It's Wednesday night,
I
and
doubt
the
that.
finals game is Thursday night.
It would be hard to believe that he doesn't try to go out there and play. That would be very hard to believe that he doesn't try to make his way to that court. But that's just me. So, but yeah.
Before I give my prediction, how do you feel about teams that let an injured player play. And do you feel like they hamper the team by letting a guy play? Do you think that's like inspiring or whatever? Because I feel
Um,
like if you have an injured player on the court, it's almost like you're playing 4-on-5 because you letting that guy
yeah,
try
that's
to
the
gut
issue,
it
right?
out.
Because it's like if he's a complete liability out there on both ends of the court, they're gonna take him out, right? Like Rick Carlisle's a smart enough coach, and he's gonna make the best decision for this team, right? Because this team isn't just Tyrese Halliburton; it's everybody else, right? It's everybody. So, I mean, as long as he's not like actually giving me like terrible minutes, like that could happen if he goes out there and plays. I'm not gonna be like too upset, like, oh, like he went out there and tried, right? Like that's all that matters. So that for me at least, right? Like he
He
went
might
out there and
produce
tried.
another. He might produce another 4-point game. So much for him
That's when we
being.
need to see these huge TJ McConnell minutes.
That's
Nemhard.
not. That's not sustainable.
No.
I got the Thunder closing it out,
Yep.
and a lot of that is due to the fact that Tyrese really can't stamp his will on this series at all. I
Yeah.
haven't really seen it.
Yeah.
Even with that game 1 game winner, other than that shot, he wasn't very uh, influential to the outcome of the games per se.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the rest of the players are are trying to carry the weight of not really having an effective Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Turner,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's showing in how much work Pascal Siakam has to do
Yeah.
against a team that's just way too long and way too physical, and with a lot of their wing depth and their center depth there. Chet Holmgren is making it very difficult for anybody to score
Yeah. Yeah.
at the 3-point line or at the paint. He's
Yeah.
guarding both
Anywhere
ends. He's been a
defensively.
monster, just like I predicted. But
Yeah.
I got Thunder in 6.
Thunder and six. I'm gonna write this down just so I make sure. Just so I make sure. Oh, well, I also want to say this is like this is our 20th episode of the Hardwood Huddle. I feel like that's pretty impressive that we've gone pretty much like 20 episodes straight. I feel like that's a pretty big deal to me. It is at least. So I just want to make sure that's out there. All right, here we go. All right, Hidro.
Stick with us after the finals, please. We
Yes.
got some off-season stuff for you too.
And then I'm gonna put Pacers down just to be different. Just because I want to be different.
Just to be wrong.
Just to be wrong and to be different. Because I have this belief, man. Like the Midwest is different. Like it's a different blood around there, man. They're gonna work. They're gonna win. Watch it.
It's almost,
Even without Tyrese, they're gonna win.
it's almost like, why have a 7th game if we all know what the outcome of that 7th game is going to be?
Yeah, it's not gonna be like a crucial game 7. It's like, okay, the Thunder are back at home now. Time to see like a blowout.
Why roll all those guys to Oklahoma City for anything but other than a parade?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me they're gonna have a game 7 and they're gonna get all the whistles and all this game 7 and OKC has never won one? You really think Indiana's gonna come out of that? Nobody does.
No,
And
it's just
Tyrese Halliburton is, if his calf isn't gone, something worse could happen in this next game if he tries to play on it. We've seen Jason Tatum already out for the season, potentially out for next season with the torn Achilles here in these playoffs. Same thing with Damian Lillard. Like, why have something like that turn into something more serious for a Tyrese Halliburton so we can have a game 7 and everybody knows the outcome?
Yeah.
I would say give it a rest, and if you're not seeing anything in the first half, just call it a day. Don't sit there and try to fight against a 30-point lead if
there's
it's a
no
30-point
point.
lead
There's
at
no
halftime.
point because it's like what, like the Pacers could come back next year and be completely better, but like what happens like in this game if he, like what you're saying, like he goes out there and tears his, or just does anything even worse than it already is, like then he'd regret even going out there and not having the chance to be out on the court next year at this time of the year. Like he'll make it back if anything happens. Like we're so far, like the finals are so far out that it's like even Tatum would be back by the finals if the Celtics made it, right? But I don't know.
And that dead ball review that we should have on the Indiana Pacers too is going to be pretty epic because they made a trade yesterday, by the way.
They did.
To get their first round pick back in 2026. So they'll have like 7 straight first round picks.
Yeah.
They traded with New Orleans and they gave them a future pick and rights to a player I think they had in the G League. So
or either G League or like overseas, like one of the two. So like guys
I think his last name is King.
Yeah. Here, let me pull it up actually.
They're gonna have like a ton of cap space, and Miles Turner is gonna be a free agent. So if they want to re-sign him, they can wait and like sign other players first, and then go over the cap to re-sign Miles Turner if they feel they want to bring him back. And now you're stacked. You're a stacked team, assuming you don't play Tyrese Halliburton on the cap strand, and it becomes something serious. And now you're looking for a point guard. But imagine
Nembhard could step up and play that point guard role. He said he played point guard like up until he got to the NBA pretty much. And so
I really don't want people playing out of position after you made the finals with the roster you have.
Of course. And that's worst case scenario if Tyrese does get hurt, even worse. So that's but here's the trade. The Pacers are trading their number 23 pick and the rights to Mojave King to the New Orleans Pelicans for their own 2026 first round pick, which the Pelicans had previously acquired. So I mean, not like a crucial trade, but pretty interesting to see a finals team make a trade in the midst of finals, right? So it's like I wasn't expecting that because I woke up and I was like, the Pacers made a trade? Like what? Like I was like, I feel like I'm tripping, but I'm not. But Thunder, I got the Pacers. But let me change this really quick. Any last thoughts on Game 6 or just this entire series in general if it does end tomorrow?
Sad that
just
Tyrese Halliburton. I didn't get to see a healthy Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
Throughout these finals because he's been pretty exciting all playoffs. The whole Eastern Conference was exciting most of the playoffs, and to see it come to I'm not gonna say it came to health, but maybe it came down to health.
All right. Well, this is some smaller news on the table, but this is news and it's important. The Los Angeles Lakers were sold for $10 billion today.
That don't sound like small news. That sounds like big.
That's big news. But like, what do we really have? Like, how much is that going to affect like us on how we look at the Lakers? Like,
you just said how much when we're discussing 10 billion.
I mean, like
10 billion. That's how much.
Shit ton. That's a shit ton. That's a lot of money. But like that, when I kind of saw this notification, I kind of thought the Lakers would sell for like 15 billion. Like I thought they would be like marketed around there. But what the Celtics sold for 9? If I believe
10 billion is the most that any franchise in North American sports has ever sold for.
Yeah, it's a crazy amount.
And it's scheduled to potentially go up to 12.
Yeah, so I mean, scratch off that 10 and add maybe 12. But Jeannie Buss is still going to remain the whatever what do they call
governor,
that? The governor of the team, right? So it's not like it's going to be out of like the Buss's hands. Like I've never lived in a world where the Busses haven't owned the Lakers, so it's like at least we're not going to get anything super crazy to change, right? Because Jeannie's still going to be in there. But
in order to have the ability to run the team in that fashion, NBA rules stipulate that you have to own a minimum of 15% of the team. So imagine you sell a team for 12 billion and you still own 15% and you control everything that's happening on the court with the team. It's pretty nice. I think their initial buy-in value, Jerry Buss, he bought for like
62 million. Something like from like 60 to 70, like somewhere in between that range. I don't have the number pulled up. I should have written it down. But yeah, I mean, like that's just like even crazy to like think about like that. But like This is good for the NBA though, that the Lakers did sell for 10 billion or maybe even 12, right? So
And the new owner, his name is.
let me get that
I'm
up.
pretty sure he's the same guy who owns the Dodgers, and he threw a whole bunch of money at it, and the Dodgers won a World Series as a result of that.
Yeah. So
So maybe the Lakers should be very
Lakers ring.
excited that this guy will blow straight through the second apron and pay whatever you got to pay to get people
Yeah.
onto the roster.
Well, this is just the Shams tweet. I'll just read it out. The Bus family is entering an agreement to sell majority ownership of the Los Angeles Lakers to Mark Walter, the CEO and chairman of a diversified holding company, TWG Global. Sources tell ESPN Jeannie Buss will continue to serve her role as governor after the sale. So Mark Walter, the CEO and chairman of TWG Global. I don't know what that is, but that sounds like it's worth a lot of money. But I don't know.
I believe he has his net worth is like 6 billion or something like that.
Something crazy. Like what? Like
So
imagine.
pretty impressive. I'm wondering if a change in ownership necessarily affects LeBron's timetable when it comes to retirement. He already threw out a retirement ad for Amazon. That was pretty funny, but speculation still arises as to
maybe we get to see
when that could call it quits.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder, like, I don't know, like, because it's also like, yeah, like maybe like the new ownership can extend his time in LA, but like you're still like working with the same people. Like they're not gonna go in there and fire Rob Pelinka. They're not gonna fire JJ Redick like that because they can do that obviously as now owners. Like they're not gonna go in and make drastic changes. But one change that I want them to see or to do, sorry, is make it actual gold. Like I want to see Lakers gold back. I'm tired of this nasty yellow color that we see. Like it is disgusting to look out. Like it is a terrible color. Like I don't want to see that color anymore. And if they do, I promise, like the owner, like I'll be the first person to buy a Lakers jersey with, and if they do change the color back to that beautiful gold Lakers color, because that was just great. Because now, like, what we had one champion, or the Lakers have one championship in that disgusting color in the bubble. Now it's time to change some things up. We got Luka in the building.
I think the first thing they should do is cut Jackson Hayes, but that's just me.
Well, yeah. But yeah, the Lakers did sell for 10 billion. That's good for the NBA. That's good for just everything basketball, right? Because it means that people are still interested. But we'll start with this. Obviously, this is you open this up. You inform me about this. I missed the tweet or missed whatever, but you go ahead.
Cooper Flagg met with the Mavericks personnel, and I believe they did dinner and then maybe some light on-court work afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nice to see that he finally met up with them, given that the draft is going to be in a week, and there's rumors. There's always rumors about what could happen with the pick if, given that Nico Harrison is the one in charge in Dallas, and he's the one that made that Luka Doncic trade.
Yep.
And he claiming he's in win now mode, but he also has the number one pick, so it's kind of like, what path do you go? You got Kyrie Irving that's going to be out for a good balance of the season.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do at point guard in the meantime? You got Dylan Harper sitting over there. We don't know if maybe he trades down one with San Antonio and goes and picks up a boatload of other stuff, takes Dylan Harper, and has enough ammo to kind of reload.
Yeah.
And get depth. Like there's all kinds of things you could really do if you're Nico Harrison, given that you can trade the franchise player and not suffer any repercussions.
Yeah.
From upper management with regards to it. So it's nice to kind of put that to bed a little bit when you start seeing them meeting with the potential number one pick in Cooper Flagg, and Cooper Flagg being receptive to that, because there was also rumors that Cooper Flagg was more interested in returning to Duke until he realized a lot of his Duke teammates weren't going to be around.
Yeah.
Uh, that some were going to the draft, some were transferring to other teams and stuff. And if they all said they all had a pact and said, "Hey, we want to run it back together," Cooper Flagg would have came back. So
I don't. I'm so like we've talked about this on the show before. I'm so disconnected from like high school basketball now these days. Like it's just not what it used to be. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Boozer twins. Where are they going? Are they going to U of A or Arizona? Sorry, or are they going to Duke? Like I feel like somebody big is going to Duke, and I'm just like blanking. I don't know, but I didn't know if you knew, but I just threw it out.
So the Boozer twins you're referring to are Carlos Boozer was the NBA player
Yep.
who I believe was in the 2003, I think maybe NBA draft.
Yeah, 2003 draft. I just did a LeBron rebuild that. Yeah.
And so he, I think he started off playing as a teammate of LeBron, and then he took big money and went to Utah. Like one of the first times I've ever seen a free agent choose Utah or whatever. And he had some decent years with Utah, and then some follow up teams afterwards. He was a strong power forward.
Yeah.
Like 6'10" or so power. No, I like 6'8" power forward, whatever.
Yeah, like somewhere between that 6'8" to 6'10".
Yeah, he played a lot of years. Former LeBron James teammate in his early days, and now he has twins. Twin boys who are really good at basketball. I believe both of them said they were going to Duke, and I think they start next year. But they're really they're guys to look forward to next season when it comes to college hoops.
Yeah,
and who knows where they're going to be in the follow up draft or whatever, but. Those are NBA players' sons. There's a lot of NBA players' sons that are in the league now. So people want to complain about Bronny James being in the league and be like, no, it's happening. It's happening everywhere.
Every son is getting this treatment. If your dad was in the NBA, they're going to be like, oh, hey, we can sign you to like a two-way, maybe get you up here, see what you can do.
And they're making a ton of money in college. So when you come from money, from your NBA dad, and then you're getting a ton of money in college.
Yeah,
it's debatable if you decide to go back to college, because in a lot of cases you'll be making less money as a NBA first round pick than you are as a college player. Rumors are that Cooper Flagg was making like 28 mil for Duke last year.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy.
If I had to look up his NBA contract as a number one overall pick, his first year probably less than that.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I don't know what like a signing bonus is for like
I think it's probably like 15 or 16. Let me
but like nowhere close to what he was making in 1 year at Duke. But yeah, no, this is kind of off topic, but on topic. But yeah, next year's draft, I'm excited for it. There's obviously the Boozer twins, and then we have AJ Dybantz who's going to BYU. So next year's draft is going to be interesting. That'll probably be I bet teams are going to be making some calls to get up to that top 3 range, because I think you hit anywhere in that top 3 range.
The Vance is nice. 12.6 million for the number 1 pick, I believe, in their first year.
Yeah, that's not even.
That's a huge pay cut.
Yeah, like he'll.
If you're making 28 mil and you're the man on campus.
Yeah, I mean,
versus, you say you want to be in the draft and you have no idea where you don't get to choose where you're going to be. You end up being in Portland or someplace you don't have any ties to, and maybe you're not actually interested in living for the next 4 to 5 years.
And I mean, but when he saw that Dallas hit on that first pick, I bet he was pretty excited then. Because I mean, if I was Cooper Flagg and I saw the Mavs get the number 1 overall pick, even though they just traded Luka, that's Kyrie and AD on the same team.
The rumors that I saw were that he was more interested in being on the East Coast, so he would have liked if Philadelphia.
Because I'm pretty sure he's an East Coast kid. If I'm remembering correctly.
He grew up in Maine.
Maine. Yeah.
Well, Boston's pretty close to Maine.
Yeah, kind of.
And and went to Duke in North Carolina. So
Yeah,
if he ended up being a Charlotte Hornet or a Philadelphia 76er or something to that effect,
that'd be pretty perfect. That would
yeah,
be.
I think he probably would have preferred that. But hopefully he's warming up to living in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad place to live. I mean, I want to live in Texas, like that for me at least. But going on to another draft prospect in this draft, Ace Bailey. We've been kind of over the last like what 2 days, 2 to 3 days, we've been getting more and more information on like what like the deal with Ace Bailey is, because when during the combine, obviously you get real measurements. That's when you're measured with no shoes, like how you would if you're on an NBA roster. And he went from 6'10" to 6'8", right? That's what the height difference.
6'7".
So like somewhere significantly less than 6'10", which I mean gave a lot of people some questions on Ace Bailey, because I mean when you're next to the number 2 overall pick that it's looking like, right, and Dylan Harper, if the Spurs go somewhere else, that'd be crazy. But I mean, I don't watch too much college basketball. I've obviously done my due diligence on him leading up to the draft, but yeah, I don't. I'm confused on what this deal is. Ace Bailey has been declining draft workouts from multiple teams, and him and his agent are both in like agreements apparently on like just this top 3 to top 4 range of teams, maybe even only just the top 3. But
But I don't think he's worked out for anybody though. And
was
there's
really
only
nobody. I thought he worked out with the top 3, or he was planning on working out with the top 3 closer to the draft.
the draft. The draft is next week. What you mean closer to the draft? Like
That's what I'm saying. Like during
this weekend?
this week, like in this sense. Let me see. I can pull it up here on Twitter.
Bro, he's got like 5 days. You're not working
Yeah,
out
no,
for a team
he's the only player to
on
get.
Monday or Tuesday of next week. If you
Yeah,
get hurt, that's gonna cost you. That's gonna cost you money. Nah, he's not working out. If he's not working out between now or Saturday, he's not working out
yeah,
because you can't. Like getting hurt is a non-starter. That's gonna cost you too much.
yeah. And now it's like now there's questions on who goes 3, right? Because obviously Cooper Flagg 1, Dylan Harper 2, and then 3 was kind of a toss up before the combine, like I said. But now I feel like it's really between 3 guys for the number 3 pick, which I think it's just going to be either Ace or VJ Edgecombe. But I mean, you can even throw Trey Johnson's name in there. I mean, obviously they don't need like a guard like that in Philly.
Nah, I don't think
But
Philly's keeping the pick, so I wouldn't worry about that. It's just a matter of whoever gets the third pick, would
which
they take Ace Bailey or not?
yeah,
And
which
I'm
is
and I'm leaning
Utah.
towards not, given that his measurables have dropped, and that's the only thing you have to base it on. You don't have any workouts to fall back on.
Yeah, which is insane. I don't know, like in like I had to ask you before we started the show, because obviously you're Houston Rockets at this point, still holding number 10 overall pick. And you said you wouldn't take him if he was at 10.
I posted that on X. I'm at the Hero Joe, THAHEROJOE, on X, formerly known as Twitter, and I posted that to the Rockets community, asking them if he fell to 10, would you be interested? Didn't really get too many bites on that. I'm thinking that Houston's probably not keeping the pick at 10.
Yeah,
A lot of the rumors swirl about that we're trying to pass that pick on to somebody else because we're having trouble getting young guys onto the court already
yeah,
as a number 2 seed in the West. But if we did keep that pick, um, it makes sense to strike high and hope that he dropped because of ancillary reasons,
yeah,
and you're actually getting an actual top 3 player at number 10. But in my opinion, given his measurables dropped, and can't I can't put a weight on his competitiveness, given
yeah.
his team didn't make the 68 team
Yeah,
college basketball
but
college basketball
that
tournament.
Rutgers team, like from just like my like low college basketball knowledge, I feel like it was just Ace and Dylan Harper kind of just
Is
like
it
almost
it
doing.
it With that being said, you had a choice. It's not like
Yeah,
Rutgers drafted you or something like that. He chose to go
yeah,
to to New
yeah,
Jersey to to go play over there. So you would
Yeah.
think that if you make that choice, it's a educated choice.
Yeah.
Uh, Maybe that speaks to your decision making when you decide to go over there and it doesn't show well in terms of the results.
Yeah.
You know, you have an inkling of who else is going to be over there and all that stuff before you officially put pen to paper.
Yeah.
You could have went anywhere,
Yeah. And I
and
and
but he chose to go to Rutgers, who historically has not been a great team.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's from Tennessee. He could have just went to University of Tennessee, and that's a great team uh,
Yeah.
in, in college hoops.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and obviously, like I don't like what I said. Like I don't know too much. I don't know who he was like getting recruited by. I assume he was a 5-star recruit. I'd assume. I don't think he'd be anything less than that if he was a 6'10" and with all of like the intangibles that he can do on the court. Um, but yeah, I mean, you didn't have to go to Rutgers. You could have gone to Duke. Like you could have gone to Duke if you had that Duke offer. But you decided to go to Rutgers and want to change the culture and be a little different. But yeah, no, that obviously didn't pan out because not a lot of people were watching Duke basketball, or not Duke basketball, Rutgers basketball. People were watching a lot of Duke basketball. Um, but yeah. Um, all right, Hidro, where can they find you?
Like I said, I'm at the Hero Joe, THAHEROJOE, on X, formerly known as Twitter, as well as Instagram. And you can find my articles on BellyUpSports.com.
Yep. You can find me on Twitter at Hammy2004. Hammy spelled HAMIE, not HAMMY. And then obviously you can find us on Twitter at Hardwood Huddle. The Hardwood Huddle was taken. But make sure to use Opus Clips, AI clips. That helps me out when I'm doing all the clipping for this podcast because that's a lot of knowledge that I don't know how to do. And so the AI helps me. Obviously, thank you to BellyUp Sports for giving us this show. And Hidro, have a good one.
All right, you too.